Ricky, you're so serious. So as we lighten up, once again, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so excited to see each and every one of you here today. It's the season or something. It's kind of like we're expanding out over into the chapel area and filling up all the seats. This is really, really truly wonderful. I know that there is a shift that is happening. I know that there is a power and a presence that is actually operating within the Coachella Valley. Does anybody here know the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi? He's here this weekend. He's speaking today. And as I mentioned earlier about my service to the armed services, and I knew that it was meaningful and I knew it was purposeful. But I also found myself conflicted because this was in the late 60s, was during the time of Vietnam. And I truly had one of the most extraordinary and gracious experiences in the military. And I served in the Army. And my time was absolutely blessed. I had one of the most extraordinary jobs. I worked directly for a 4-star general in Seoul, Korea on computers in the 1960s, okay? Nobody else had computers. The military had it. And the one that we had, there was 2 of them. There was one in the Pentagon and one at the UN command in Seoul, Korea. And yet I was conflicted with why we were there. I couldn't quite, bring myself to understand this. But I wanted to do my service. I wanted to stand for my country. I wanted to believe that what we were doing was right. And yet there was something more that said to me, but I don't understand why we do war. So during that time, I was also in revolution. So I'm serving in the military, but I refused to carry arms. They weren't quite sure what to do with me because I was one of the few people in Seoul, Korea that knew anything about this computer. I worked for a 4-star general, so there wasn't a lot they could do with me, so I was there. I think it's what led me further along into my spiritual practice, because I think that there's another way. I believe that peace is possible. I believe that peace is the potential. I believe that peace is the way. The power of peace. This is a teaching by Shagud Tulak Rinpoche. It is my wish that the spiritual power of peace will touch every person on this earth, radiating from a deep peace within our own minds, across political and religious barriers, across the barriers of ego and self-righteousness. Our first task as peacemakers is to clear away our internal conflicts caused by ignorance, anger, grasping, jealousy, and pride. With the guidance of a spiritual teacher, this purification of our own minds can teach us the very essence of peacemaking. We should seek an inner peace so pure, so stable, that we cannot be moved to anger by those who live and profit by war, or to self-grasping and fear by those who confront us with contempt and hatred. Extraordinary patience is necessary to work toward world peace, and the source of that patience is inner peace. Such peace enables us to see clearly that war and suffering are outer reflections of the mind's poisons. The essential difference between peacemakers and those who wage war is that peacemakers have discipline and control over egotistical anger, grasping, jealousy, and pride, whereas war makers, out of ignorance, cause those poisons to manifest in the world. If you truly understand this, you will never allow yourself to be defeated from within or without. In Tibetan Buddhism, the peacock is a symbol for the bodhisattva, the awakened warrior who works for the enlightenment of all beings. A peacock is said to eat poisonous plants, but to transform the poison into the gorgeous colors of its feathers. It does not poison itself. In the same way, we who advocate world peace must not poison ourselves with anger. Regard with equanimity the powerful, worldly men who control the war machines. Do your best to convince them of the necessity of peace, but be constantly aware of your own state of mind. If you become angry, pull back. If you are able to act without anger, perhaps you will penetrate the terrible delusion that perpetuates war and its hellish suffering. From the clear space of your own inner peace, your compassion must expand to include all who are involved in war, both the soldiers, whose intention is to benefit, but who instead cause suffering and death, and thus are caught by the terrible karma of killing, and the civilians who are wounded, killed, or forced into exile as refugees. True compassion is aroused by suffering of every sort, by the suffering of every being. It is not tied to right or wrong, attachment or aversion. The work of peace is a spiritual path in itself, a means to develop the perfect qualities of mind and to test them against urgent necessity, extreme suffering, and death. Do not be afraid to give it your time, your energy, and your support. Take this moment with me right here, right now, to find that inner peace within. So great, so magnificent, so wonderful, so huge that it embodies all those who are suffering, all those who are fighting, all those who are angry, all those who are hating, all those who are dis-ease or disillusioned, and bring them into that embodiment of the inner peace of mind. To know that the potential, the possibility, and the way to true success and happiness is through inner peace, and it begins right here with me, right now. Believe in this and know in this and accept this. Truly, this is what it means to be a member of the Center for Spiritual Living. For to be living spiritually means to be living with peace of mind, peace of heart, peace of body and soul. And so as we join together in that idea of peace, I just invite you, as we surrender all of this into the power and the presence that is within each and every one of us. If you agree, if you believe, if you know that inner peace is absolutely possible and it is what you desire, then affirm with me as we say together, and so it is. We are in a time in our world where there is the great appearance of so much chaos going on, so much dis-ease going on, so much disillusion going on. We're looking at things that says, you know, the economy has fallen apart, everything's gone to hell in a handbasket, and there's not enough for everybody, and if I don't get mine now, tough luck. Is that the truth? No. That's not the truth that we believe in. That is not the truth that we want to accept. That is not the truth that we want to live. There is another way. There is something more magnificent and more powerful that is right here, right now, available to each and every one of us. By whatever name you call it, there is a power and a presence within you.